Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style?
Hi guys, welcome back again. Another unboxing today and another Back to the Future themed video. As you can probably see from the title of this video, this is a real flying DeLorean. I've been waiting to get this from Kids Logic for quite a while now. They originally done a batch of these, I think it was in 2016. They obviously sold out straight away. They've just done a new run, which again was limited, and they've said this is going to be the last run of them. So I finally got mine all the way from Japan. I'm really excited to see what it looks like inside. Hopefully it's in good condition, hopefully it works. I have been trying to get the hovering hoverboards that Kids Logic also do. Unfortunately, when they arrived, they were damaged and didn't work, so I'm just getting those replaced at the moment. Once I've got those, I will be doing a video of them as well. So, as you can see from the box, it's a magnetic levitating DeLorean time machine, and it says it does exactly what it says on the box. So as you can see, quite a big box. You know, it looks kind of like a shoebox, but it's a lot bigger. And there's not a lot to see on the sides. So I'm going to get this thing open because I can't wait to actually see this in the flesh. So that's the lid. And then quite a few pieces inside here. So what have we got? Okay, so we've got the DeLorean in the first batch here. So we've got all of these pieces here. So you can see we've got some spare wheels, we've got a miniature hoverboard, and the scale for this is 1:20. So it's smaller than the build DeLorean. If you guys also been along on that, so I'll give you an idea of the size. It's not 1/8 like the build the DeLorean. In fact, I'll get the DeLorean out last, just because it's quite well in there. So the first bit we've got here are the flames. Obviously the famous flames from when it goes back in time. Pretty good detail in that. I don't think these light up, but they look pretty good just in natural light actually. Really well moulded. Obviously you get two of those. I'm not sure how they attach. Looks like there's some little clip at the front there. We'll see that when we get the final model out. Then we've got some 1/20th scale hoverboard and an almanac. I'm not sure how I'm going to get that out without... They're so small. Oh, there we go. There's the almanac. And you can just see it on my fingertip there. I mean, I have tiny hands as well. Can I get that to focus? No, obviously not. There we go, almanac. And that is tiny. And by straining my eyes, I can read it in person, but actually on the camera, I can see it better. So you can see probably more detail than I can when I manage to get it to focus. But that's a nice little touch. Looks like it's even got some writing on the back. Just a 1/20th scale almanac to go in the seat with the car. And then a 1/20th scale hoverboard, because this is the hovering DeLorean. This is the one from Back to the Future 2. And no Back to the Future item is complete without a hoverboard. And that has got really nice detail in it for its scale. I mean, it's tiny. The other Kids Logic hoverboards they do are, I think they're 1/6 scale, so they're a lot bigger than this. But this, the detail in it for its size is brilliant, and it looks really good. So then we've got some spare wheels, which are obviously the hover wheels. Now each of these has got a power port on them because they do light up, so you can just swap them out from the regular wheels and just pop them in with the AC adapter there. and then there's some light in there which will light up when it's in hover mode, and it's all wireless as well. So you plug in the base, and then the car, when it's in hover mode, lights up wirelessly. So I think that's brilliant, and you know, it's the amount of technology in this little thing is great. So I've got 4 wheels, obviously, which won't focus either now. Now I'm all close up, so I'll sort out that focus length. And then we've got this, which is a bracket that's meant to help you steady the car on the hover base. Hopefully I won't have any issues with that. Hopefully I won't need that. And then the car, hopefully that goes all the way around. And as you can see, the door's open. That plastic doesn't go all the way around. Oh, it goes through. It goes through the middle of the car. I need to open the door. Okay, so it looks like I've got some marking on the bonnet, which just looks like grease spots. So that looks like that will buff that. Yeah, it's already buffed out, but that will polish off. So that's, I was worried then that I'd got marks all over this. They're not. They're almost like grease spots where that plastic packaging has been on them, probably through transport that's caused that, and the difference in temperature. So there it is. There's the DeLorean from Back to the Future 2, 1/20th scale. Now it looks pretty good. You know, it's not as detailed as the Build a DeLorean. It's not as good as the Hot Toys one in detail, but it looks pretty cool. It does look pretty cool. It's got the alarm clock on the dashboard. It's got most of the parts, but in a basic form. You know, it's got the hockey pucks around the back. It's got the heat sink. It's got a lot of the parts that we've been seeing and we've been building in the Build a DeLorean. Obviously, it's got the barcode number plate. I think this is a little bit wonky on here. I don't know if that's a sticker or if it's just moulded wonky. It's got exhausts, which, from my knowledge from building DeLorean, they weren't like that. I don't think the DeLorean ever had exhaust sticking out the back. And then you've got the flux boxes underneath. I believe the exhaust was custom for the real one. Obviously you've got the vents, you've got your Mr. Fusion with a working latch, and that opens, and I believe that lights up as well. What else do we have here? So like I said, the wheels just pull off, and they can just switch out for the hover ones, which I will show you when we get to plugging this in. And they do turn. They do turn. They're not free rolling, but you know, you can turn them if you want to. It's not a toy, but it does work. And then you've got detail in the underneath here, which obviously we see in Back to the Future Part 2 when the car is in hover mode. And again, I believe this lights up. So all of this is designed for display. And I believe there are some lights inside. Obviously, again, it's not as detailed as the one we have been building over on my other videos. But you've got the DMC on the headrest. Sorry, I might have been completely out of shot when I was opening those doors. I was looking at myself, getting a little bit carried away. You've got an attempt at the Christmas tree in the back there. As you can see, you've got the green, yellow, and red painted on it permanently. And I can't get a good angle to show you the flux capacitor, even through the windscreen. I'll try and zoom if I can. That's about the best shot I can get of it. Hopefully we'll be able to see it better once it's lit up. But there is a flux capacitor in there. I don't know if it lights up. I would assume it does, as most of the car does light up. And then you've got the gullwing doors as well. So that's not the unboxing finished. There is more in this box. I just got a little bit sidetracked by the car. We've got a little sheet here showing us how it hovers and the different bases you get with it, how the bases work. and then another separator, and then we've got the two different bases. We've got a power plug, which is a UK power plug, which I was worried about. I know a friend of mine got one of these, and he got a US adapter, but he didn't get his direct from Kids Logic. He got his for another company who are based in the US, so he ended up with a US power adapter. So I'm just going to plug that in so that once I get these bases out, we can plug them straight into this. If any of you were thinking about getting the Kids Logic hoverboards, which I mentioned earlier, they don't come with a power adapter. You do have to buy your own power adapter for the hoverboards. The good thing with this is you do get the power adapter with it. And here we go, here's the two bases. Now, I can already feel a weight difference between the two. One of them is just a standard display base. If I say standard, it lights up. So it's not that standard. And the other is the hover base. So I'll look at the basic, what I call basic. It's not that basic. One first. It's got a nice Back to the Future logo on it. And then it's got a mirrored base, which is covered by a plastic coating, which is actually moulded around these. Do these come out? Oh, they move out. Aha, they do come out. I was going to say, how am I meant to get that plastic off without tearing the hell out of this thing? So there we go, nice mirrored base. I'll try and keep my ugly face out of that, so, and my fingerprints off it, because that is going to mark like nobody's business. So that is a nice base, just for when you want to stand it and you don't want it in hover mode. Now I should have paid more attention, and I'll probably have to wind this video back to see whether I'm putting these back in the right way round, because it looks like one of them has got an angle on it. I have no idea what I've done now. I've taken these out and not paid any attention, and that looks completely wrong. That looks completely wrong. Let me give that another go. Yes, the smaller one was in the front. I remember that. I'm sure I remember that. They kind of look like they're on the same angle. Maybe not. Anyway, alright, so that's the standard display base. And now we have the hover display base, which weighs a hell of a lot more. It's wrapped in bubble wrap. And now the nice detail on this is that it has Mr. Fusion home energy reactor embossed into it. So I'll just peel this off so we can see that. There's nothing more satisfying than peeling plastic off something, is there? And then stressing about how much it's going to get covered in fingerprints and dirt and grime. So there you go, you can see a nice Mr. Fusion home energy reactor, and you can see my camera and setup on there. You can see all this is embossed with the Mr. Fusion logo, a Back to the Future 2 logo on the front, and I believe that all lights up. And we have a plug in the back of both of these. So if I plug in the hover one first, because obviously we all want to see it hovering, and there are no lights. I was expecting it to light up straight away. Maybe I'm overly hopeful. But now let's give this a try. Is that even on? I believe it is. It is on. Oh, it lights up when you put the car near it. Oh, and first go. That is hovering. That is hovering. Believe it or not, that is hovering. And that was so easy to balance. And I haven't got the hover wheels on. I should have put the hover wheels on. But look at that. It has got a slight wobble, but I think that's where I just rushed putting it on. But that is hovering. That is hovering. and it's really stable. I didn't think I'd be able to knock it like that and it would stay on there. I thought that would just clamp down onto the magnet and just go crazy. Not go crazy, just destroy the thing. But that, I mean, obviously because there's no friction, the slightest wobble shows up on it, but that is awesome. Now I'm going to put the hover wheels on before I switch the lights on the car. You can just watch that while I try and get those wheels out. Here we go, so take the car off, simply unplug the wheels, and I don't think the wheels are different. So you haven't got small wheels on the front compared to what you have on the back like you have on the real thing. And these, I believe, any can go in it. One, yeah, and they just plug in there like that. You can probably see. No, you probably can't, it's too dark. There you go. So there's two square holes in there, which you have on the wheels to go in there, and then the power connector. So you've just got to line, that's it, those squares into there. Really simple. Really nicely designed this. Oh, that one doesn't seem to want to go in. Why not? Okay, it's in, but it's not clipped in like the others for some reason. I don't know if the holes are smaller on that one. Well, there we go. So, hover wheels on, hover conversion complete. Now I'm going to try it with the doors open this time, because apparently it floats with doors open, and see if I get the same luck the first time. Nope, clearly not. That's what I mean when this thing isn't balanced. There you go. When this thing isn't balanced, that magnet pulls this car down hard. And that could do some serious damage to the base and the car itself. And you can see it's just twisted that wheel that I said wasn't in quite right, just from knocking it like that. So there is my hover car, and now I believe this lights it up. Now obviously there are LED hotspots on this, and there's no denying that, but for a display piece, it's a hovering DeLorean. I'm not going to argue with that, whether you want the lights on or off. I mean, it's pretty cool. Now, there's no difference in colour of any of the LEDs. They're all bright white LEDs. Some of them look a bit blue looking at it on the camera, but they're all white, I can assure you. And then as you can see in the mirrored reflection, underneath it's lit up as well. The underneath of the car, where you see, oh, I've just turned it off. Oh, and I've just seen that the thrust, what are they called? Exhausts on the back also light up. Brake lights light up. And there's the only place where the lights look a different colour. Shining through the brake lights there, they look reddish. But looking at them in person, they're clearly bright white LEDs throughout this. So as you can see underneath, there might be some green. There might be some green LEDs there. Again, it might just be some green film, just trying to make it look a little bit green. So there are lights under the car. There's no easy way for me to show you them. That's probably the best angle I can get. Under the car, so lit up like it does in the film, and the wheels again are also lit up, but that's all to be seen in the reflection. Not really going to get down and look at that unless you got it on a high shelf, of course. What what else lights up? So you've got the flux bands light up, where you've got the real big problem with the LED hotspots and the light bleed. Then you've got the Mr. Fusion, which, as you can see, it's really glowing bright. And then if you close that, you can see it through this little translucent section in Mr. Fusion at the top here. So you don't have to have Mr. Fusion open. You can just latch it closed again like that. What else can you see? So you've got the wire handle is lit up. There is a little LED in there. What else lights up? So you've got the flux, which again is just an LED. It's no better than the one we've got in the Build the DeLorean, or the one we got with the Build the DeLorean. So that's no improvement there. You've got lights in the doors, and really sadly, there's no light on any of the dash instruments at all. And most disappointingly, the time circuits. The time circuits don't light up. Again, I imagine it probably would have been just a bright white LED. So I don't think it's a bad thing they haven't put a light in there, because that would have just looked awful. So that's that base. And that's the car in hover mode on that base. I'm really close now, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to set my tripod up. Oh, there you go, look, I've moved it. It's going a little bit wobbly, but it stayed floating. You know, once it's floating, oh sorry, I forgot to mention that the headlights light up as well, obviously. Once it's floating, it's pretty stable. I mean, apart from the wobble, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't do that horrible clunk and crash down and lose its hover. It's pretty stable. I'm now going to have to take it off while I unplug it and plug in this other display base. So I'll just push that to the back there and plug in the mirrored base, the mirrored display stand, which you can see here. Again, as I lower this down, you should, if I've connected this up right, yes, there you go. So it sits there. The doors, I don't know if it's just mine, but the doors don't seem to close flush. But you know, it sits on that static display stand. You've got a touch sensitive section here, which you can probably just see on camera. There is a slightly different textured square there to the rest of it. There is a similar textured circle on the Mr. Fusion base that indicates where you press to power the lights on, and that actually gives you probably the best view of the underneath of the car. So you can see that, you can see the wheels and the reflection. You know, it looks, I kind of quite like it on this base more, just because you can see more of it. It's not wobbling, it's not moving around. It's not got the etch on the mirror like the Mr. Fusion hover base has. So you can see that underneath so much clearer. And the legs which it sits on are pretty well positioned that you don't notice them. The way the mirror's there, the detail in the car, especially from the front, you don't really notice those legs. You can see the bottom of this leg here and very slightly here. But looking at it this way on, it looks like a nice, really nice display piece. So, I did mention at the start, we also had flames and a hoverboard. I don't think the hoverboard I wonder if the hoverboard floats. It doesn't float. I'm sure it doesn't float. It would be really clever if they'd put a magnet on this that worked with the hover base. Could you imagine that? The tiny little hoverboard. I've got to try it. I've got to see whether they would have. There's nothing on the instructions that I can see. No, there's nothing on the instructions I can see that says that miniature hoverboard hovers. But I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. But I was just checking those instructions as well to see what it says you do with these flames. And apparently they clip into these. Yes, there is. There's a little notch in these legs for these flames to just press into. Don't worry, I will show you this with the lights off so you can see how it looks in the dark. I'll probably do that when I put it back on the hover base. We'll see. So there's the flames attached. Focus. And here comes the car. Now these little legs that it sits on here clearly have a specific position. They're designed to sit at a specific place under the car. So there's the car with the flames. And the flames don't light up. I thought the flames might have lit up, or there might have been some kind of dispersal of the light through it. But there isn't. So I'm just going to turn the lights off so you can just see this in this mode, and then I'll put it back on the hover base. So there's how it looks in the dark. I'll try and stay on focus. So for the lens glare, like I say, there are super bright white LEDs, and you get a lot of light bleed and hot spots in there. It doesn't look as soft in person as it does on camera. I mean, that is the drawback to this model, is that lighting. It looks good, but could be a lot better. And as I say, the flames don't show up any different with the lights on or off. So you can see the lights on the doors. The interior lit up by that very bright light for the flux. And then the last thing is to put it back on that hover base. So just going to disconnect that. And just reconnect this one. Let's just see it on there. That is really easy to center. I'm really surprised. I've heard lots of horror stories about trying to get that balanced on there, and okay, the first time you saw it, or the second time you saw it, it crashed down. First time was fine, and then again, really easy to balance just then. So there's the lights. And now I'm just going to try with this miniature hoverboard to see if there is any. No. I guess I was a little bit too hopeful about that, having any magnetism in it. That would have been cool. Have a tiny little hoverboard just hovering there. Anyway, I don't think the normal wheels light up. I'm going to swap some out just to see what it looks like with the normal wheels on, see if they light up when it's on the base lit up. Now I'll turn the lights out again, just to show you what it looks like in the dark with the lights on. And then that will probably be it. I don't think there's anything else I can show you about this car. But if there is anything else you want to know about this car, any further details you want to see, please do message me. I'll be happy to answer any questions on it. Like I say, it's a new thing for my collection, so I'm just getting to learn it myself. But I think it looks really cool. Could have been better on the lighting, but just the hover function is just hypnotic. And as you can see, the wheels don't light up. The normal wheels, even though they have the same power connector, they don't light up. So, right, once more with the lights off. You can see the wobble from where I'm at the table standing up then. So let's just steady it if I can with my crazily unsteady hands. And there you go, there's the hovering car. And it's just slowly rotating. So you can see how bright those lights are on the doors. And it's going to hover back the other way as well. Now you can see in the dark the whole of the white part of Mr. Fusion is lit up. So there is a lot of light bleed in there. That's going to happen with LEDs this bright and this white. But I'll just open Mr. Fusion so you can see it shining its light out. And again, I'm getting blinded by those lights on the door, so I'm just trying to keep them out of shot. Because they are really bright. They seem to be the brightest lights on the entire car. Which is really weird, because on the Build the DeLorean model, they're probably the dimmest lights on the car. But that's it. That's what this car looks like. It hovers, and despite all its drawbacks, it is awesome. It is really hypnotic. This, I'd just love to display it like this in hover mode, on the hovering base, permanently. Just have it sit on a shelf just doing this, 24/7. I don't know how safe that is, but it would look amazing. Probably have the lights off, although it doesn't look that good when you're sitting in the dark. So that's it, guys. I hope you really like this piece. I like it. I've got my drawbacks, but let me know what you think. Would you buy one of these? I think there are still some out there if you want to get them. But like I say, it is a limited run now. They have said this is the last batch of them. So if you want to get one, try and get one now if you can. But other than that, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.
I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet. But your kids are gonna love it.